Right now, you'll want to get outside and enjoy the weekend weather because things are about to change. Gary is tracking some picture-perfect shopping conditions, followed by a lot of cold. And the Badgers are back in the Big Ten championship, but can they beat the Buckeyes? Our sports team is breaking down their chances live from Indy.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It's Saturday, December 7th. I'm Keely Arthur, in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canelti. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning. I lost the coin flip, so I had to be in this morning.
Oh my gosh, you won the coin flip, you mean. It's always a joy to have you, and you're bringing some nice weather.
Yes, actually for the weekend, not a problem. Next week, that's a different story. Let's take a look live view at the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. The cloudy skies are starting to break up a little bit over southwestern Wisconsin. We'll see more clouds this morning, more sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures right now right around the 30-degree mark. A few places still in the upper 20s. Wind chill's not too bad, but the winds will actually pick up. So there might be a little bit of a chill to the air, even though temperatures will climb up to around 40 degrees with more sunshine later on this afternoon. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, things are still pretty quiet on the Beltline. There's the view from the Beltline camera at Todd Drive. Traffic has not yet started to pick up on the Beltline this morning. I-39, 90, 94 moving at the posted speed limits east of Madison. The Beltline traffic, of course, very light this morning. And no problems seen on I-39, 90 down toward the Illinois state line. I-94 toward Milwaukee or US 12 into southeastern Wisconsin. North and west of Madison, no travel problems either. US 151 to the Fox Valley. I-39, 90, 94 into central Wisconsin and out toward La Crosse, no problems there. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
You said pretty nice weather this weekend, but some alert days actually in the forecast for the work week.
We'll talk more about that, give you the details between snow and cold, too.
Oh, gosh. All right. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Well, we know Paul Bunyan's axe is in Madison, and this weekend the Badgers are hoping to bring home another big trophy. They're gearing up for kickoff at this year's Big Ten championship in Indianapolis against a very familiar opponent. The News 3 Now sports team is in Indy this weekend, and our Jay Wilson joins us with a preview of the game. But first, an injury update.
Hi, Keela. Good morning, everyone. Not so good news from the injury front for the Badgers as wide receiver A.J. Taylor won't play against Ohio State tonight. Taylor injured his knee in a non-contact situation against Minnesota last week, and he has been ruled out for the Big Ten championship game tonight. Now, yesterday, the two head coaches were around, and they brought out the very shiny Big Ten championship trophy. Paul Chryst and Ryan Day had their photo op with it. Those two coaches have slightly different views about what tonight is all about.
You know, I always think that, and we think as a team, that you don't worry about where you're going to end up at the end of the year. You worry about playing the season. And if you get the opportunity to earn the right to play more games, you're appreciative of that. And this group has done that.
You know, we want to make sure we're, like we talked about, accelerating through the finish line, which is the Big Ten championship game. Has been a goal. It's been on our board for a long time, and so it's all about being locked in, focusing on executing at a high level. At a game like this, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of hoopla when you come into the city, and they do a great job of that. But really, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to execution and who does their job on the field, and that's what the focus is on right now.
Ohio State, of course, is the #1 ranked team in the country. They are 16.5-point favorites over the Badgers. But if Wisconsin hopes to pull off the upset, Jonathan Taylor, you figure, has to have a big day. But in his first two meetings against Ohio State, he's rushed for only 41 and 52 yards. And that 52 yards came 5 weeks ago when Ohio State beat Wisconsin in Columbus 38-7. Keely, it's 27 degrees and the wind's blowing. Can we wrap this up and go back inside and get warm?
Absolutely. You get back inside, Jay, but we always like having you in our show. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, there are plenty of watch parties happening around town, both in Madison and Indy. We'll tell you about those coming up in the weekend 6:08. And News 3 Now will have complete coverage of the game all day long, both on air and online, and will rejoin us live from Indy in our evening shows. Developing right now, the Department of Justice confirms human remains found last month are those of a missing 24-year-old woman from Dane County. She has been identified as 24-year-old Anastasia Evans. Evans was last seen alive May 4th in Wisconsin Dells driving a cream-colored sedan. Her remains were first discovered by a hunter in a wooded area of rural Adams County on November 23rd. Two of the teenagers involved in a high-speed crash in a stolen car this week are being held in a juvenile detention center. Prosecutors say they both have a history of car thefts. A third has been released to their parents. This is the scene of that crash Wednesday. Prosecutors say one of the two being held had two other stolen key fobs on them at the time of the crash. They say the teens drove past a middle school at 60 miles an hour and were driving at least 80 down East Washington Avenue before the crash. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is investigating multiple cases of adenovirus on college campuses around the state. They confirm at least multiple cases over in UW-Madison, Oshkosh, and La Crosse. Adenovirus infections commonly cause respiratory illnesses, which can range from cold and flu-like symptoms to bronchitis. With just 3 weekends remaining in this year's annual Red Kettle campaign, the Dane County Salvation Army is hoping 3 match days will help make up for quite a shortage of donations. The first match day is today at the Associated Bank location. Right now, the campaign has raised only 17% of its $600,000 goal. The Salvation Army of Dane County says 65% of the bell ringing shifts are also unfilled. You can register yourself and your family to ring on our website. 1- and 2-hour shifts are available both inside and out. And earlier this week, we told you that the holiday season marks a critical shortage in blood donations. One man is going above and beyond, donating more than 100 gallons of blood and platelets. That's the equivalent of saving 3,000 lives. Here's why. 75-year-old Vietnam veteran and professional bowler Ron White has hit many milestones in his life, but this one is pretty special. In the 25 years he's donated, it was simply a routine until he met a little girl fighting cancer.
She would smile, and it was like, 100-watt bulb. If I just saved, that was good.
Very sweet. As a reminder, here in our area, the Red Cross is offering you a $5 Amazon gift card for donating blood. A breakthrough study is happening right now in Madison. The FDA approved a clinic here to test psilocybin, which is an active ingredient in magic mushrooms, to see if it can heal people who are clinically depressed. The USANA Institute of Madison is making the mind-altering drug in a lab. Right now, they are screening for 80 people to participate in their study to see how the drug can heal someone who is depressed. The study is done in a controlled setting, and the director says it could be revolutionary to the medical field if it works.
I think right now the evidence suggests that a single treatment or 2 treatments of psilocybin in many people will have a benefit that will last at least several months and maybe longer.
Pretty interesting. Coming up tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning at 6:30, our Jamie Perez shows us how this study is being done and the breakthrough findings they've already discovered. Well, admission to EAA Air Adventure is in Oshkosh, and it will be free for people 18 years and younger for at least the next 2 summers. The Experimental Aircraft Association says it wants to introduce more young people to, quote, the possibilities in the world of flight. The Boeing company is paying for the costs, and the price of adult tickets will have a small additional fee next year. Now, the adventure is starting the 20th of July through the 26th. Today is a big day for the Navy. It's the christening of the newest aircraft carrier, the John F. Kennedy. The ceremony will be held in Newport, Virginia. The carrier has been under construction since 2015 and is now about 2/3 complete. The carrier is the second to be named after JFK. His daughter is the ship's sponsor. Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee are working through the weekend preparing for next week's impeachment hearings. The White House says it won't participate in the hearing, blasting the inquiry as, quote, completely baseless. The deadline for them to participate was midnight. Articles of impeachment could be drafted as soon as next week and could include charges of abuse of office, bribery, and obstruction. House Democrats have set the stage for a possible floor vote on impeachment before Christmas. Republicans say the end result has already been decided. From the nation's capital to ours, the Rotunda is shining a little brighter this weekend. Governor Tony Evers lit the indoor holiday tree during a ceremony Friday afternoon. The theme of this year's tree is Celebrate Science. The evergreen came from a farm in Medford and is decorated with more than 2,000 LED lights and ornaments made by Wisconsin school children. It is 8:09, and if you still have any outdoor holiday decorations of your own to put out, you'll want to do it this weekend. You are taking a live look over the Capitol. Gary is tracking the big change on our way and your full forecast. That's all ahead on News 3 Now this morning.
Well, it's still a little chilly in the backyard, but we're starting to see some breaks in the clouds overhead. That bodes well for getting some sunshine in here, especially by this afternoon, and that should get temperatures up to around the 40-degree mark. First of all, if you're hanging the holiday lights this weekend, it's actually probably a pretty good time to do it. It may be your last good chance before the holidays because we will turn much colder next week. We'll see some chances for snow, and it looks like that trend will continue even into the following week as well. So this is probably a good day to do that. Live view from the WISC Skycam shows just a few breaks in the clouds overhead. Otherwise, skies are mostly cloudy. Three things you need to know in the forecast. High temperature should be around 40 this afternoon and in the middle 40s for tomorrow. So a mild weekend, but we'll see some snow on Monday with perhaps 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Heavier amounts will be north of Madison, north of the Dells. South of Madison, probably less than an inch of snow, but that'll be accompanied by a change toward much colder weather. High temperatures only in the teens, and on Wednesday, maybe only the lower teens. Nighttime low temperatures around 0, and wind chills by by Wednesday and Thursday morning could be down to around 10 to 15 below 0. So alert days in the forecast for that snow chance on Monday, and then for the very cold weather for Tuesday and Wednesday. Heaviest snow from this next weather system will be up near Lake Superior. Could be several inches of snow through central Wisconsin. Southern Wisconsin will be on the southern fringes of the storm, so we're not looking at heavy totals here, but putting a little snow on the ground and having that snow to our north and west will keep temperatures cold for the remainder of next week. Right now we're 30 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, a few breaks in the overcast. Winds out of the south-southwest at 10 miles per hour give us a wind chill of 21 degrees. So our forecast calls for skies to be partly sunny or mostly cloudy this morning, becoming partly sunny by around lunchtime. Temperatures up to around 35 by noon. Then look for a high temperature of 40 this afternoon under partly sunny skies. It'll be breezy as well. On future track, you can see the skies clearing out by this afternoon with high temperatures around 40. Then tonight, look for temperatures to only fall a few degrees and stay nearly steady in the middle 30s as skies will be partly cloudy. The clouds will move in for tomorrow, but right now it looks like it'll be dry for most, if not all of the day. High temperatures will be in the middle 40s. We could see a late day rain shower, but showers or a little drizzle tomorrow night will change to some light snow by Monday morning. And again, light snow expected on Monday, high of 36 early, and then falling temperatures. Look at those highs on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Only in the teens, nighttime low temperatures just barely above 0. Those numbers might have to be revised downward. And then as you head toward the end of next week, we'll see some light snow chances. Temperatures will be back to around 30, but still very cold for December.
So pretty mild and then pretty cold. Is there anything in terms of like a seasonable temperature that we're seeing in this forecast?
Not really. It's either one way or the other, you know.
Yeah.
So in the end, everything averages out, but
Okay.
It's over a 10-day period.
Yes, a little bit of a roller coaster. Thank you, Gary.
Sure.
Well, if you have any outdoor plans this weekend, this is your reminder to download our Channel 3000 weather and traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your day is headed your way with the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions. You can get it for free in our app store. Time right now, 8:15. One of Netflix's most popular shows returns for season 3, and Taylor Swift is hoping you'll add her newest song to your holiday playlist. Plus, our Will Loper shares his picks of the latest movies to check out and his 3 things to watch. Trending news is just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
Well, the time right now is 8:19 a.m. Skies are mostly cloudy, but as you can see from the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam at Platteville, starting to see some breaks in the clouds, at least over southwestern Wisconsin. Temperatures right now are right around the 30-degree mark in Madison and areas to the south. A little colder to the north. Temperatures there still in the mid to upper 20s. Wind chills right now running in the lower 20s as the winds start to pick up. Look for those temperatures to continue to climb today. In fact, we should be up around 40 degrees by later this afternoon as skies turn partly sunny. We'll be in the mid-40s for tomorrow, but some snow is on the way for Monday, and we've got colder weather for the middle of next week. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Thank you, Gary. Let's take a look at what is trending this morning. You can now watch all new episodes of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Season 3 once again stars actress Rachel Brosnahan as Midge Maisel, but this time she's taking her comedy act on the road, leaving her husband and baby behind. Brosnahan says her character really grows this season, and the award list may grow too. Mrs. Maisel has already racked up 16 Emmy wins during its first 2 seasons. Catch season 3 streaming tonight on Amazon Prime. And less than 4 months after dropping her latest album, Taylor Swift is surprising fans with a new song. Instead of waiting until next Christmas, Swift released the new song called Christmas Tree Farm on Friday. The singer actually grew up on a Christmas tree farm. A music video for the song shows family videos of Swift, and a new intimate documentary about her called Taylor Swift Miss Americana also premieres next month at the Sundance Film Festival. After 6 seasons and more than 100 episodes, the CBS hit Madam Secretary ends this weekend. The series finale features special guest stars from the USA World Cup champion women's soccer team. Can Crystal Dunn, Allie Long, and Allie Krieger help President Elizabeth McCord pull a landmark political initiative? We'll find out at the final episode ever of Madam Secretary. That's tomorrow at 9 o'clock right here on News 3 Now. But there is no need to wait until tomorrow to watch something good. Here's Will Loper's picks and 3 things to watch.
There's a Yeti on my roof.
New on digital HD this week is Abominable.
He escaped. I want my Yeti back!
Is that your home? No way.
A girl finds a Yeti on her roof and decides to help him get back to where he came from before an evil corporation captures him.
There are people looking for you.
Go faster!
Whoa! You can do magic? This is amazing! This is impossible!
Abominable is available on all digital platforms now.
Yeah, Ma. Beijing is great. Oh, Peng is, Peng's fine.
What I love about Nicole, she is a mother who plays, really plays.
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the film Marriage Story.
It's not easy for her to close a cabinet.
He's incredibly neat.
She's brave.
He's brilliant. He's very competitive.
Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson star as a husband and wife who decide to separate, and we see all the messy aspects of divorce that come with it.
I realized I didn't ever really come alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness.
I'll never get to really be his parent again. He needs to know that I fought for him.
Marriage Story is available to stream on Netflix now.
You know, most people in my business, you're just transactions to them. I like to think of you as people.
Oh, okay, good.
You remind me of myself on my second marriage.
Mamma plasserte meg nederst ved bordet sammen med lillebrors tvillinger. Så derfor koker hjernen min akkurat nå, og straks kommer jeg til å si noe som får store konsekvenser både for meg og en del andre. Jeg har fått meg kjæreste.
Finally get in the mood for the holidays with a new Norwegian series also on Netflix called Home for Christmas.
Løy på din kjæreste. Ja, da må du få deg kjæreste. På 24 dager. På 24 dager, jeg skal hjelpe deg. A piece of cake.
After her nosy family keeps asking, a 30-year-old woman lies and says she has a boyfriend. And then she has to find one to show them.
Sammentreff, eller?
Ja.
Johannes og Johanne, eller?
Det står her at du er 29 år.
Fordi du er litt lik mamma.
All 6 episodes of Home for Christmas are streaming on Netflix now.
Vi får se om det kommer noen etterpå, da.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Some good picks. Well, there's much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including a preview of the much-anticipated Badger game. Plus, if you're looking for a way to escape the bustle of the holiday season for just an hour or 2 this weekend, head to the Overture. Find out what's showing this month at Kids in the Rotunda when News 3 Now this morning, Saturday, continues.
For an accurate forecast you can trust, watch First Alert Weather.
Right now, it's the most wonderful time of the year and one of the toughest times to keep our budgets in check. One thing you can do and one thing you should avoid today to keep your bank account safe.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's December 7th. I'm Keely Arthur. We're going to get a check on your first alert forecast with Gary in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. It's a big weekend for the Badgers and a great weekend to be a fan as the team gears up for its 6th appearance in the Big Ten Championship. That's the most of any team in the conference. But even if history is on the Badgers' side, odds makers aren't. The Buckeyes are 16.5-point favorites heading into the game. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy. If you're headed to the game, check out the free pre-game pep rally from 4 until 7 inside Exhibition Hall F at the Indy Convention Center. But if you're back here, we will take you to Indy as we check in with our sports team at 8 o'clock. And the Department of Justice confirms human remains found last month are those of a missing 24-year-old woman from Dane County. She's been identified as 24-year-old Anastasia Evans. Evans was last seen alive May 4th in Wisconsin Dells driving a cream-colored sedan. Her remains were discovered by a hunter in a wooded area of rural Adams County on November 23rd. Very sad. Well, with just 3 weekends remaining in this year's annual Red Kettle campaign, the Dane County Salvation Army is hoping 3 match days will help make up for quite a shortage of donations. The first match day is today at the Associated Bank location. Right now, the campaign has raised only 17% of its $600,000 goal. The Salvation Army of Dane County says 65% of the bell ringing shifts are also unfilled. You can register to ring on our website. 1 and 2 hour shifts are available both inside and outside. And Gary is here now. And Gary, you think it might be a good day for people to be outside in kind of any sense of the word? Yeah, temperatures today should be up around the 40-degree mark and will be in the middle 40s for tomorrow. That's the good news. After that, though, things change quite a bit. Temperatures right now run from about 30 in Madison, Mineral Point, and Janesville to the upper 20s across the rest of southern Wisconsin. Winds are starting to pick up a little bit. Wind chills right now running in the upper teens to the lower 20s. Temperatures this morning will climb to about 35 degrees with mainly cloudy skies this morning. By this afternoon, it should be partly sunny, breezy, and mild with a high temperature of 40 degrees. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, the view on the Beltline at Todd Drive, traffic moving pretty steadily. Still not seeing a big uptick in traffic. So right now, the traffic moving at the posted speed limits along the Beltline and also along I-3990 to the east of Madison. However, to the east, there's a stalled vehicle in the right lane on I-94 near the Sullivan exit there. Right now, not affecting traffic. Otherwise, traffic on the interstates north and south of Madison are in pretty good shape. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic. All right, thank you, Gary. Students and community members are calling on UW-Madison leaders to commit to making clean energy changes as world leaders gather for the UN Climate Change Conference, which continues through next week.
We are on a 12-year clock, and today is the day for our university as a flagship university to finally commit to doing something about it so we can stop being the lowest in the Big Ten in terms of sustainability and actually start making steps to be on the right side of the future.
Local organizers are calling for Chancellor Rebecca Blink and other administrators to agree to power UW-Madison with renewable energy by 2050. Local students joined protesters around the world who marched down city streets to draw attention to the climate crisis. Climate activist Greta Thunberg made the trek to Madrid for the UN climate talks, urging world leaders that the issue can no longer be ignored. Leaders there are working to establish global rules to reduce carbon emissions set out in the 2015 Paris Accord. The U.S. is the only country that signed the agreement but then pulled out. More local news now. The granddaughter of a man murdered earlier this year is turning some of her grief into good. Jessica Fisher is selling special bracelets in honor of her grandfather, Harold Johnson, who was murdered in January. The money will go toward a first-of-its-kind account for families of crime victims to help pay for any debts or bills that are left behind.
That's the last thing that people should be worrying about when you lose a family member in such a tragic way.
Jessica also raised money for 2 scholarships for students who want to study criminal justice. One is at Portage High School, the other at Madison College. She said while she can't stop crime, she's hoping this will at least put more resources into solving them. The holiday shopping season has begun, and if you're like many Americans, you'll spend more than you mean to. Tom Hansen has a look at some shopping strategies to save you from overspending.
Sticking to a budget during the holiday shopping season can be tough.
We try to set a budget every year, and my wife goes over every year.
I mean, I used to not have a budget and just buy stuff for everyone, but that ended up being way too costly. I'm like, I need to narrow this down.
An estimated 48 million Americans are still paying off debt from last holiday season.
No matter what, going into debt for the holidays is a terrible idea.
CBS News business analyst Joe Schlesinger says the first step is creating a holiday budget by reviewing your bills from last holiday season. Then make a list for this year of everyone you need to include.
That could mean your friends, it could be your family, it could be your service providers. Put everyone down. Then the hard part is assigning a dollar amount to those people.
Which can be difficult.
I definitely overspent last year because I bought my mom like a vacation thing, like a plane ticket to Florida or whatever like that. So definitely overspent, but it was well worth it because it's my mom and I'll give it a whirl.
Experts also advise against opening store credit cards to get a discount because you could be paying far more down the line.
That actual application can negatively impact your credit score, and that could mean that you pay higher interest rate in the future.
And staying out of debt could be the best gift you can give yourself. Tom Hinton, CBS News, New York.
December is a busy month for all of us, so if you're looking for a quick way to escape while keeping your kids entertained, head to the Overture. Mary Rose Eckberg is back in studio this morning with a preview of this month's lineup. Good morning, Mary. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me back. Always a pleasure.
December is a busy month in Madison. What is going on over at Kids at the Rotunda?
So today we will be joined by students from the Kalanjali School of Indian Dance who will be presenting a beautiful show of Bharatanatyam style Southern Indian dance in full costume. And after that show, we invite the audience to head across the street to Central Madison Public Library for activities inspired by the show. The following week, on December 14th, we will be presenting Yid Vicious, who's a great local musical talent, and they'll be sharing Yiddish beats in honor of Hanukkah and the winter season. We will take 2 weeks off for the holidays, but during that time, I invite the audience to check out our Facebook page at Kids in the Rotunda to give us suggestions about artists or ways we can improve the experience through our online survey, and all respondents will be entered to win 4 tickets to an upcoming show at Overture.
That's very exciting, and I know December is a month where it's a lot of Christmas-heavy type things. These 2 events sound like they're kind of far away from that. Was that on purpose?
Yeah, so we like to highlight different cultures around this time of year as we're starting to move into the winter season. It's good to kind of highlight different stuff that's going on, we think. So we bring Kalanjali back every year around this time of year. It's also a really, really beautiful presentation. Their costumes are gorgeous. And Yid Vicious as well, we always bring them back to celebrate the Hanukkah season as well as just winter in general. And one fun fact about them, they have a artist who plays a theremin. So if you've never seen someone play a theremin live, you should definitely check it out.
It sounds like these events not only are going to keep the kids occupied for the event time itself, but I feel like a lot of questions are going to come to parents after this.
Absolutely, yeah. So the goal is to really encourage people to think about the arts and to engage in the arts with their kids and hopefully have some great conversations about what they saw, what they learned while they were there.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I know we'll visit you again next month to talk about a really packed schedule in January.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you. Kids in the Rotunda isn't all that's happening. It's a very busy December weekend around town, and we have got you covered. We're getting into the holiday spirit with Christmas classics and a craft fair to cross some of your holiday shopping off your list. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. It's the weekend in the 608 and the first full weekend of December, which means holiday events are in full swing. Here are a few events we think will make time for your family merry and bright. Well, you can get into the spirit of Christmas with A Christmas Carol live this weekend at the Overture Center's Capitol Theater. The play will feature the classic story of Ebenezer Scrooge. There are multiple performances this weekend. For more information and tickets, head to overture.org. And if you're looking for a unique Christmas gift or just some new decorations for your house, head over to the 10th Annual Crafty Fair at the Goodman Community Center and next door at Brassworks. The fair runs from 10 to 4 today and then 10 to 2 tomorrow. More information can be found at their website, craftyfair.org. And there's plenty of Big Ten championship watch parties going on around town. The Badgers are taking on Ohio State tonight in Indianapolis at 7 o'clock. Besides deciding the 2019 Big Ten champ, it will help decide what bowl game the Badgers end up playing later this month. But if you decided you'd rather see the game in person, it's not too late. The UW is no longer selling tickets online, but you can still snag them on StubHub. The lowest price right now is about $51 for terrace end zone seats. The highest tickets sell for just under $500. That's at the club level. As a reminder, you can find more activities for the family and the best the Madison area has to offer over in Madison Magazine. If you have any outdoor holiday plans this weekend, you're going to enjoy them. You're taking a live look over the Capitol. Gary is tracking some mild weather for the weekend and then some cold for the work week. We'll be right back. But first, let's take a look at who is turning 3 today. Happy birthday.
Well, we started out the day with mostly cloudy skies, but as you can see from the live view from the WISC Skycam, there are a few patches of blue starting to show up overhead. By this afternoon, I think skies will be partly sunny, and that should make a difference in temperatures. We should be up around 40 degrees. But after a mild day tomorrow, we've got alert days in the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday will be windy and colder. A mix of rain and snow early will change to light snow with about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Heaviest amounts north of Madison up toward the Dells. Tuesday will be breezy and very cold with steady temperatures in the teens. By Wednesday morning, low temperatures will be down to around 0 with wind chills, perhaps as cold as 0 to minus 15, and daytime high temperatures only in the lower teens. The snow that will fall Monday will be heaviest in the northern part of the state, perhaps 6 inches or more up toward areas north of Rhinelander and Superior, but about 3 to 6 inches through central Wisconsin. Across southern Wisconsin in our viewing area, maybe about 2 to 3 inches north of the Dells, about an inch or so from Madison to the north, and then south of Madison, probably less than an inch of snow. There's live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, seeing a little sunshine trying to poke through the clouds. Right now, mostly cloudy skies in Madison, temperatures at 30 degrees. Winds are starting to pick up. They're out of the south-southwest at 10 miles per hour. The wind chill is at 21 degrees. Temperatures range from the teens in the northern part of the state to around 30 here in southern Wisconsin. Upper level winds are still from the northwest, but a storm system on the west coast will move eastward. This is what will bring clouds in here for Sunday and then bring us a chance for some light rain showers, maybe late Sunday afternoon, better chances Sunday night, and then as the storm moves by, we'll see windy and colder conditions on the backside. That's what will bring down the cold air for the middle part of next week. Weak warm front out to the west of us with a little bit of light snow in northern Minnesota out ahead of it. Temperatures north of the front teens to around 20, south of the front mainly upper 20s to the lower 30s. And on future track, you can see the clouds clearing out for this afternoon, but by tomorrow they come right back in, and here comes that weather system in from the west. We'll see some rain shower chances initially, but then that will change over to some light snow on Monday. So our forecast calls for skies to be mostly cloudy this morning, temperatures climbing to around 35 by lunchtime. This afternoon, breezy and mild, high temperature at 40, with skies becoming partly sunny. On future track, you can see the skies partly sunny this afternoon, highs around 40. Tonight will be partly cloudy, temperatures only dropping a few degrees, holding steady overnight, and then cloudy skies for tomorrow with highs in the middle 40s. Slight chance of a rain shower late in the afternoon, but you can see what happens to temperatures after that. 36 on Monday with falling temperatures, only teens Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and some light snow chances toward the end of next week. Temperatures back up closer to 30.
It's nice to see that we're not seeing too much in the way of snow or rain, at least. I know a little bit of rain, but...
Right, yeah, but it's, you know, when it gets cold, that snow doesn't go anywhere either.
That's true. All right, well, thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Well, we've been asking you to share your morning with us. And what does your morning look like? Check out this gorgeous photo sent in by Lori Genthy. Thank you so much for sharing. If you have a photo to share, you can put it on our Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here on the show. And you can stick with News 3 now all day long for live updates from Indy ahead of tonight's Big Ten Championship. And then tomorrow morning, we're sharing a really unique gift idea, how you can turn your family and friends into lords and ladies by giving them those official titles while saving the environment too. Very interesting gift. But first, we're soaring to new heights, heading to California to check out the incredible program saving North America's largest bird from the brink of extinction. We're back in a moment. Finally this morning, the California condor, the largest bird in North America, is making a comeback from the brink of extinction. In the early 1980s, there were only 22 left in the world, so scientists set out to capture the remaining birds and create a breeding program.
Joy Benedict got a behind-the-scenes look at the LA Zoo recently and discovered a new technique that's produced soaring results.
It is a moment decades in the making.
There he goes.
As young California condors get their first glimpse of the open sky from inside this flight pen at the Bitter Creek National Wildlife Refuge, 2 hours north of Los Angeles. It's their final stop before freedom. Mike Clark is the condor keeper at the Los Angeles Zoo.
You're letting your kids go into the wild, you let them go into the big city. But you have to let them go. That's the purpose of it. This is a California native bird. This belongs right in our backyard.
Clark has been a key part of the condor recovery program for 30 years. And this year, it hatched one heck of a milestone. Bird number 1,000 reared his head inside a rocky cliff at Zion National Park. With a 9.5-foot wingspan, it is the largest bird in North America. Yet few have ever seen one.
In 1982, there were 22 birds in the wild, and by 84, that breeding population had dropped to 9.
Seemingly destined for extinction, biologists captured all surviving birds, and the breeding program at the LA Zoo was formed.
From the very beginning, since there were so few birds, we were really careful. We had everyone was on pins and needles. Every egg that hatched was worth its weight in gold.
At that time, keepers used hand puppets to raise them, but the chicks became too comfortable with humans.
Their curiosity is almost greater than their fear.
So the keepers backed off. Now 43 cameras keep watch over more than 24 birds. In the wild, condors might raise one chick every couple years. But here, when a condor lays an egg, keepers take it, prompting the bird to lay another. So Clark tried something never done before.
This is the adult female that reared these 2 chicks.
He wanted to know if a parent would foster more than one chick, so he approached a bird who knew him well.
And here is a sexually mature bird that's been breeding for years and years and years, raised tons of chicks with another bird. She sort of kind of got attached to me because I was the only one that she was interacting with.
So she fell in love with you?
Yes, and I her.
It was a wild success, and this year, for the first time ever, the chicks are all being raised in pairs. The zoo spends more than $500,000 a year trying to save this species, but the only condor visitors may see is Dolly, who arrived with a damaged wing they couldn't repair.
So you guys spend all this money on the California condor, but you don't have a condor exhibit at the zoo.
Yeah.
How come?
Zoos are changing. Zoos have gone from a place where you go to see animals to a place that does conservation locally and abroad.
And that brings us back to this fall day. 4 birds hatched last year are on the move. Off to their new home in the mountains where wild birds perch nearby, but so does danger.
Just hoping that you prepare them to survive.
Since the recovery program began, the condor only has a 50% survival rate. It's still threatened by hunting, lead poisoning, and hazards like power lines.
We call it the E-perch, the electric perch. And if the birds land on it, they get a little shock and they avoid it.
Clark is training the birds to stay away, but most of the juveniles already do because they're watching an older, wiser bird, a mentor placed with them.
The mentor already knows about the pole, never uses it. None of them even try it. So that tells you how important the mentor is.
And as a new flock is tagged and prepped for release, the keepers are hopeful.
Can you imagine walking out in your backyard and seeing a bird with a 9.5-foot wingspan sitting on your fence post?
A dream that every year gets closer to home as the lessons learned give this shadowy feathered flyer a chance to not only soar, but survive. Joy Benedict, Los Angeles.
Not quite California weather, but you said that it's a good day to be outside.
Yeah, 40 today and 44 for tomorrow. Live view from the WISC Skycam showing Mostly cloudy skies, but those clouds will start to break up. Looks like we're now up to 31 degrees in Madison, with wind chills right now in the lower 20s. Look for a high temperature tomorrow or today of about 40, 44 for tomorrow. A chance of a shower tomorrow night that'll mix with snow by Monday morning, and then change to light snow on Monday. Look at those temperatures midweek. Only daytime highs in the teens, nighttime low temperatures just above zero, and wind chills down to 15 below zero. That's why we have alert days there. Toward the end of next week, it warms up a little bit, but we also have some snow chances too.
Yeah, huge temperature change midweek. Thank you, Gary, for joining us. You can hang out with Dana and I tomorrow at 6:30.